P, it's not too late. And if you wonder what I'm on about one of my favourite, take this off a moment, one of my favourite horror films. Had a lot of imagination and a lot going for it back in 1987. That being The Date. The Date, as I keep repeating, came out in 87 and it was a very big hit, especially for Medusa. Medusa at the time was not doing a lot of films on a thingy budget, and this was the time when there was heading big time. And this was a damn good film. It was, like I say, it was a big success by Medusa. Starts off, you got a little boy, and a lot of weird stuff's happening. The TV goes silly and it goes dark, and then he realises he has a nightmare. Now, all fair said and done, this is a slow burn. This is a slow burn horror film. It's one of them. It's like. But it's one what pays off. That's what I'm getting at. It's one what pays off. And like most horror movies today, what are just slow burns, and you might put a pillow on your thinking head, and you can have a drinky game of how many boohoo jump stairs. This is a slow burn what pays off. It's a slow burn what pays off. He's got a sister, who's the older sister, and I've been there. You know what I mean? Your older sister and your family go out, they go out and have a party. I've been there. I've had an older sister, and I was the youngest in the family, so it reminds me a bit of me. The lad you may remember, he's in a lot of films now. He's a lot older, but this was the era when he was a kid. And he has a mate. He's a little bit nerd there, and he's also in The Second Date. The less I talk about that, the happier I'll be. Because if I ever do that one, it would have to be a rent. So it's to my brain to most. It would have to be a rant, I meant to say. Have to be a rant. But this one, I like it because it's a slow burn, again, what pays off. A lot of things happen on the way. They find this egg, right? They find this egg, and his mates into all this weird stuff to do with witch stuff and devil worshipping and all that stuff. And he's going on about these singers with a rock band who was into all that stuff, and they got killed in an airplane accident, right? And you got the idea the lad lost his mum, and he thinks his mum has come alive. There's this word, I love you. And then they find the dog from his mate, the one who's the main character. They find the dog dead, right? So a lot of weird things are happening on the way, right? You got moths and having weird dreams and so on. But then the parents are moving on. They're going to go, you know what I mean, they've moved on and they're going on holiday, and they leave the older sister to mind the house. I've been there myself. And she invites her mates round. Long below, this is where it starts to hit the knots, because the egg that they've broken open is a sealed, what's a gateway to hell. And you get these little demons. This was the era when they had a lot of the Gremlin sort of spin-offs, you know, where you had sitters, duelists and all that. And people said this was a Gremlins rip-off. I'd have to disagree because it's a little bit more imagination. Don't get me wrong, I love Gremlins. I reviewed them both. I reviewed the first one twice. Love them. But they say it because you've got these little demons in it, but it has its own imagination. Because I love this film. It has stop motion, an effect you never see anymore. It has practical effects. And it has good makeup effects. These are the effects you will never see ever again. Nowadays it's computer effects, CGI rubbish. This, on the other hand, it had imagination and it had a lot going for it, being The Date. So you got these little demons and they're attacking them. But a lot of people might remember the scene where they get a knock on the door and the lad thinks his mum and dad have come back. And they tap hold of him and they say a line, "You've been bad." And the face turns to must, the mother's laughing. That's in this film. And also a lot of people might remember the scene where a little demon puts its arm out and they slam the door, the arms go down, these weird little maggots come out. But the most thing we will remember is the bit where they get a phone call. And the older sister picks it up, they hear the same line, "You've been bad," and the phone just goes on fire. If I remember a scene like that in any tacit horror film, if you ever saw reviews of any horror film, it's this one. I also love the poster of it. It's sad to say, on DVD, they sort of stacked the poster. The poster, it's there, but compared to the original artwork cover, and I do remember seeing this before once, when I saw art covers on videos, what I thought were top notch. This was the one, called The Date, where original poster, there's the days when Medusa had the snakes on the head. You got the hands coming up, and you got the date written up. You got this big dock of house. There's nothing at all like the house in the film. But I love it because I felt that's one thing I do love about Medusa, the golden days of Medusa. They definitely knew how to sell their films. They definitely knew how to sell their films when it comes to marketing, and the artwork was beautiful. There's a bit where his mates falling down this tunnel and the little demons are attacking him. But I do remember the scene where the lad's got an eyeball for his hand and he has to cut it off, and it's like, ugh, looks painful. He fights this big Dokoff demon, he outsmarts it. My only issue is the dog comes back to life. I'm kind of happy about that. I'm happy to see no harm's done to animals like mostly in other films. Don't ask me how it's come back, I have no idea. But the dogs come back. Happy ending, the house, even though it's all blowing up, it makes me laugh. What they're going to explain to the mum and dad when they come back from the oddities. The house has been destroyed, they defeated the demons, they walk off. Happy ending. Happy ending into the horrible sequel come out and totally destroyed it. But the original The Date back in 1987, what can I say? It's a dud. It's definitely got a lot of good practical effects. I love the scene where this zombie thing comes out and tabs the fam there, being the older sister. It doesn't mess about. And to be honest, this was a 15 rating, people. This was a 15 rating. It wasn't blood, it wasn't dorks, it wasn't snot. Just goes to show you, people, not every horror movie I review is blood, gore and snot. I do review some with a good imagination. Yes, it's a slow burn. And it just sort of drags, but it's one of them that keeps you engaged. It's not one of them what's a snooze fest. And when it does pay off, it definitely pays off. It's got a lot of good imagination. It's got a lot of good special effects. I love the stop motion in it. I love everything about The Date. It's a damn good one. From 87, you've never seen it, check it out. It's a good one. It's definitely good. It's definitely 80s. You know what I mean? You got Dills, the typical 80s hairstyle, the lads, definitely 80s. But, you know, if you're around in that era, it definitely brings memory lane back to you in that era. But it's a good one. Check it out, The Date, again, shot in 87. You like horror movies. You like horror movies with good practical effects, something you're never going to see. I swear, man, it's coming from the art. If they did The Date today, right, please do not do another remake. But if they did that, I guarantee it'd be CGI garbage with actors, pieces of frigging wood. This, on the other hand, there's none of that. Yeah, the performance isn't top notch, but it's too edible. Big word for me. And you've got good practical effects, and I'm repeating that line. But you have stop motion, something you don't see anymore. You've got puppets there. You've got everything going for this film, and it's a damn shame. It was a big success. It's like I say, in the early 90s, they did a sequel, Garbage. If we do that, it'd be a rant, and I'll stick right this time. This, on the other hand, has a lot going for it. You know what I mean? I love the idea that they have this box, this egg, they break it open, being nosy, and it opens the gateway to hell. But you know what I mean? Like most of the derbies you see nowadays, this is another film. I felt myself practically had a lot going for it. It definitely had an edge. It definitely was a date for me. So points, what the hell? A 10-star rating, because there's no faults in it for me. That's The Date, shot in 1987. Into them, do some more movies, some more movie reviews. Into them, be smart, be safe. I'll see you later.